So I've had some questions about what exactly you're supposed to do on the genetics project. I did put a copy of the rubric on my webpage, but I thought that I would go ahead and create an example so you would know what to do. So we're just going to kind of go through this. This is still due Friday. I hope that you don't wait till the last minute to work on it because it does take a little bit of time. So let's just go through this and see what you need to do. First of all, just some tips for the project. Make sure you follow the rubric. Do exactly what it says to do. As far as how to present your project, it's up to you. You can put it on a poster, on a 3-sided display. You can make a video, or you can put it on a PowerPoint. You can use apps on your iPad. You get to choose how to present it. You can put it in a notebook, whatever you want to do. When you're creating your own species, be creative. When you get to the portion where you have to create a pedigree, make sure you make a key. I'll show you an example of that in a second. One of the requirements is that you would create a dihybrid cross, but you have to do a dihybrid cross and 5 additional practice problems. When you create your practice problems, make sure the problem itself goes along with the genotypes of the male and female species that you created. You'll see what I mean by that in a second. And after you create the practice problems, you must work them out and give me the genotypic and phenotypic ratios. Okay, remember that this is a test grade. Let's look back at the rubric. Okay, so again, you can find this on my website. I also gave each student a copy. It says the creature should have at least 5 traits from the following list. You're free to create whatever traits you like. Hair color, size, shape, or any other feature that you have. You have to have 2 single allele traits. You have to have 1 codominant trait. And then, do you see right here where it says multiple allele trait? I will let you replace the multiple allele trait with an incomplete dominance trait. Okay, and you have to have 1 sex-linked trait. Your final project should have the following elements. You should have like a description of your genotypes and phenotypes. You can either write those out or you can draw them out. Then you have to have 2 examples of your creature, 1 male and 1 female. The 2 examples must have different genotypes for each trait that you select. Okay, it says each sketch should have the genotype listed for all the traits. Pick one of your single allele traits and create a simple pedigree for your creature. I chose the sex-linked trait to do my pedigree. And then you've got to show a dihybrid cross using your 2 single allele traits. So I wrote a practice problem and then just worked it out. And then you have to create 5 practice problems using any of these traits. These should be word problems. Do not just write big A little a times big A little a. And then you can see right here a rubric that I'm going to go by to grade your project. Okay, so here's my first page. This is just where I describe the traits. My first trait is that one of the single allele traits. It's the same thing as a monohybrid cross, and I chose the trait as being the number of spikes. So I said that 3 spikes are dominant to 2 spikes. So capital S, or capital S, little s would give the. I created a snork like we've worked with in the past. They're going to give you 3 spikes, and then little s is going to give you 2 spikes. My second single allele trait is the number of eyes. I said having 1 eye is dominant to having 2 eyes. Make sure on this page that you give me both the phenotypes, which is like the 1 eye or 2 eyes, and the genotypes. So for 1 eye, you could either be big A, or big A, little a. And the 2 eyes is little a. You need to do one with incomplete dominance. I said red eyes are incompletely dominant to yellow eyes, resulting in orange. And you can see that I have those genotypes beside that. My sex-linked trait is my number of fingers. So 10 fingers are dominant to 6 fingers. Okay. And then codominant, I said yellow skin is codominant to black, resulting in spotted. Okay, so the very first page is that you just have a list of your traits. You have the phenotypes and the genotypes. Okay, so here is my crazy species. I hope that you do a little bit of a better job of creating your species than I did. I was just trying to do something quick just to give you an example to go by. But this is my male snork. Note that he has 3 spikes on his head. I said that his genotype is big A, little a. He has 1 eye. I said that his genotype is big B, big B. He has an orange eye, which his genotype is big R, little r. He has 10 fingers, okay? He has yellow and black spotted skin, which is a codominant trait, so I'll let my genotype be big capital Y, capital B. And he has 4 legs. And instead of using the fingers, I actually use the number of legs as the sex-linked trait. So his genotype is X, big A, Y. So there's my male. Then for whatever you create, you also have to have a female. So here's my female. Here's my female. She has 2 spikes, little a, little a. She has 2 eyes, which is little b, little b. Her eyes are red, which is big R, big R. 2 legs, which is X, little a. You can't see the whole thing on here, but it should be X, little a, X, little a. And she has yellow skin. So notice that for every single one of the traits, that she has the opposite of what the male would have, and that's what you have to do. Okay? Here is a pedigree that I created, and I chose the number of legs to create my pedigree. So as you can see, I just used the male and female to start my pedigree, and then as far as your other generations, that's just up to you, how many kids you want them to have and that type of thing. But you do need to make sure that the combinations are possible. I mean, for example, you know, we've said that this right here is a male that is 2-legged. Is it possible for these parents to create a male that is 2-legged? So make sure that your pedigree does make sense and that it would actually be possible to work out that way. One of the requirements for the pedigree is that it had at least 4 generations. So you can see that I've noted my 4 generations with my Roman numerals, and that you also have to have a key. And it kind of got cut off too, but you need a key. Okay? My dihybrid cross, it says in snorts, 3 spikes are dominant to 2 spikes, and 1 eye is dominant to 2 eyes. Cross a male snort that is hybrid for 3 spikes and is pure 1-eyed with a female snort that has 2 spikes and 2 eyes. So there's the problem that I created. And you can see on this page, I actually worked out the dihybrid cross that I created in my problem. And you do have to do that. Okay? And then it was just a matter of creating my practice problems. Practice problem 1 is just a regular monohybrid cross. It said, what's the probability of having offspring with spikes? And again, make sure that your descriptions and your practice problems go along with the genotypes that you created for your imaginary species. You can see here that I did work it out, so I do have to see your work. Practice problem 2, it was a codominant trait. I said yellow skin is codominant to black, resulting in yellow and black spotted. So this is the cross. Okay, so again, this is a codominant trait, and you can see that I worked it out. My practice problem 3 was my incompletely dominant trait. I said that red and yellow make orange. And note that I did answer the question, what's the probability? And I did work out each one of the steps. Practice problem 4. This is my sex-linked cross problem, and I did put a picture there of me working that one out. And practice problem 5. This is the one that this was just my other monohybrid cross. Cross a snort that is pure for having 1 eye with a snort that has 2 eyes. What's the probability of the offspring having 1 eye? But that basically sums it up. So you need to have a list of your traits with their genotypes. You need to create a male and female species, and listing all the phenotypes and genotypes for each trait. You need a pedigree. You need a dihybrid cross, and then you need 5 practice problems that are, that were worked out. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at, here is my email address. You can email me anytime this week, and I will try to get back to you. It is just Floyd@polk.k12.ga.us. Okay, good luck.